You have done this. You open the market. You see a stock down 9% in one day. Red everywhere. And you think there is no way that drop makes sense. That's an overreaction. I'm buying this tomorrow. Or you see a stock that just exploded higher. Up 6%. Huge green candle. And you think, momentum. This thing is unstoppable. But here's the uncomfortable question. Are those instincts actually profitable? Or are they just emotional reactions to noise? Today we are turning that exact behavior into a real Python project. No guessing, no opinions, no hindsight bias. We are going to scan the entire market, find yesterday's biggest winner, find yesterday's biggest loser, buy them the next morning, sell at the close, and see what actually happens. If you're interested in Python programming in specific with a focus on finance or quantitative finance, this is the perfect project. It's simple, it's powerful, and it teaches you how professionals test trading ideas instead of just believing them. So let's build it. First, I don't want to manually copy paste tickers, so we pull the entire S&P 500 list directly from Wikipedia using their API. We send a request past the HTML, extract the table, and grab the symbol column, ending up with a list tickers containing all tickers in the S&P 500, which are, as of today, 503. Next, we are using this list and pass it to the download function of Finance, downloading historical data. I'm starting 2025 here. You can extend this if you want more history. And we are keeping open and close prices because that's all we need for this experiment. Then, as you see, I'm splitting this data set into two clean matrices or data frames. CloseDF and OpenDF. So let's execute that because this will take a couple of seconds probably. And while this is downloading, allow me one comment here. There is very, very slight survivorship bias here because you're taking the tickers as of today and you assume that those tickers were existent in 2025, which is not the case. So if you want to do it 100% correct, you have to check the S&P on that day for the tickers and then iterate through the whole time horizon. I've shown how to do that in previous videos. Feel free to amend that, but I can already leak here. The difference is very, very small. Plus, you hold the assets one day anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but you might come across assets which are not really in the S&P back then. Now, everything was downloaded, got some standard errors here for, I think this is Berkshire Hathaway. This is just not working for some reason, but it doesn't matter. We have 501 assets, so perfectly fine for now. We got a CloseDF and an OpenDF. Let's quickly take a look at that together so you get an understanding how this is looking like. So CloseDF looks like this. You have the close prices for every single stock in the S&P 500. Quite clear here. Now, this part is an important one as we are starting with defining the ranking signal. And the signal is simply the close to close percentage return. Tells us how each stock performed yesterday. And notice we explicitly set the fill method to none. Simply prevents pandas from silently forward filling missing data, which can distort backtests. This signal matrix is now our ranking system. All right. And now this is probably the most important part here. If we rank using today's close, we cannot pretend we bought at the same close. So imagine you are ranking based on the return, the percentage change of the close prices. If you now take the same value and buy at the close, you would have a look-ahead bias, because you cannot buy on the close if your signal is dependent on the close. All right, that is look-ahead bias. So what I'm doing here is I'm calculating an intraday return. And this intraday return is simply the close price divided by the open price, the price where you can realistically buy. And then we also are shifting here. All right. So once again, we do something realistic. We rank at time t. We enter at time t plus 1 open. And we exit at t plus 1 close. That way, every return we measure is actually tradable. Super important. Now, we remove the days where the signal is completely empty. For example, the first row after percentage change. Then we align next intraday to exactly those same dates. Now everything is synchronized. This is just data handling, data manipulations, and bringing everything together. Now, for each day, we find the ticker with the highest return, yesterday's best performer, and the ticker with the lowest return, yesterday's worst performer. Now we have one stock per day on each side. To get the actual realized return, we stack the intraday return matrix into long format. This is what stack is doing. Then we create date and ticker pairs that correspond to our daily selections. This is happening here. We re-index into the stacked return series, and that gives us the exact next day intraday return for the stock we choose. No loops, no manual indexing, fully vectorized. We now build a results data frame that stores the best ticker, the worst ticker, the next intraday return for each, and we drop remaining missing values. At this point, we've built a fully systematic experiment. So let's take a look at the results data frame together. And this looks like this. And let me quickly go through an example so you understand how to read this table. On the 3rd of January 2025, SMCI was the best performing stock in the S&P 500. If you would have bought it on the next day's open and hold it for one whole day, you would have made a return of 4.2%. This CVNA is the worst performing stock. If you would have bought it on the next day's open, hold it for one day, you would have made 0.04%. And so on and so forth. All right. Now you also have an example here. As you see, mRNA was performing best and dropped off the next day with -9%. All right. So how can you test now if your strategy would make sense? And once again, this is a very specific strategy. You just buy the top performer and you buy the worst performer and you compare that. Well, the simplest way here would simply be you average those returns. So you take the average of all the returns over the last, 2 years or 1 year and whatever month that is. All right. So you would just take the mean of this column, and with that you would get the mean return of your strategy. So let's actually quickly do that together here. So you take the column, pull the mean, and you see you will get close to zero return here, slightly negative. So probably not the best strategy to trade as it is right now. Alright? But let's take a look at the worst next day intraday. So that would mean, once again, you get into a position on the worst performer. What does that yield? Yields also around 0% here. So, overall, in a nutshell, the strategy as it is currently set up wouldn't yield positive returns. Now, does that mean this video is totally worthless? No, it is not, because you know exactly now how to properly test a trading idea. You avoided lookahead bias, you used real execution assumptions, and you turned a market instinct into data. That's a mind shift from trading emotionally to thinking like a boss. Now, what can you make out of this? Now, instead of only buying the top performer, you could take a look at the top 3 performers. You could think about taking a look at the top performers minus the worst performers. You can take a look at shorting. You can even extend that and find a good time horizon where the strategy is working, run a t-test and check if that is statistically significant. There's a lot more to do here, but I hope this is just giving you a rough idea. And I thank you very much for watching and looking forward to see you in the upcoming videos. Cheers, bye.